Jungle Dweller out here making a little bit of a splash. We have the power of Paleozoic good stuff, and yes, that appears to be Melodious and some other meta. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more on us content. This is one of the more unique builds that I've had the chance to actually cover on this channel here. And this is basically being Thunder, Runick, Bysteel, good stuff. But we're playing Jungle Dweller here. Can't be normal summer set, so this is actually a Chaos Space target, which is actually kind of cool. Must be special summoned by card effect. And then while there are 2 cards in the field zones, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. You can only use one of the following effects. So we can banish a light and dark, special summon this card, and then if this card in its possession or in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, jump up to 2 of your field spells from your graveyard or banishment into the deck, and then you destroy that many cards your opponent controls. This is a little free, I guess, extender for the light and dark archetype, being able to abuse some field spells here. And I also see that this build is playing multi-universe as well. So activate only if you do not control a face-up card in your field zone. You target a field spell that is banished or in either graveyard, destroy this card, and if you do, place that targeted face-up card in your field zone. So this actually is going to be kind of cool because this can actually recur back your Runick Fountains that got Cosmic Cyclone. You only use each effect of multi-universe once per turn, and if a card or cards in the field zone will be destroyed by card effect, and banish this card from your graveyard instead. Wow. I always wanted a recurable way to pull back my fountain at a local level, and you're telling me we can actually do that. That's a little bit insane. Outside of that, though, you're still going to be functionally pulling through most of the Runick Bysteel package that this deck kind of offers, going down the filtering lines to make sure that you have the aggression that you want to have on your opponent. And most of this extra deck down here is kind of interesting. Also, being able to make Colossus against your opponent is definitely one of the best things that you can actually, I guess, kind of do for modern era Yu-Gi-Oh! So good stuff. I'm happy to see that this pile is actually able to kind of do something out here, and I do fully expect more results. All right. So this ended up topping, and I do want to, we made one correction to this. This deck was playing Lingaribo. We switched it for an anima as a showcase for you to just be able to have a little bit of an idea as to what you're doing with this. It's actually topped a regional. And yes, that is the Soldier Dragons. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card effect, quick effect, and special summon a level 2 or lower dragon monster from the deck. So we can start flooding out some free little guys here. We're also playing Laundry Dragon Maid in here. On normal, special send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. At the start of the battle phase, you return this to the hand, and then you could special summon a level 7 Dragon Maid, which we don't care about that. We care about on normal or special, go ahead and excavate 3 cards from the top of your deck. You want to just take a guess as to why we're doing the things we're doing with this? Well, because the fact that this deck is able to generate all of this advantage. You're using these Soldier Dragons in here as a method to facilitate the Laundry Dragon Maid being plopped out, and then you're using the milling package that is the Laundry Dragon Maid to basically further yourself in through the deck so you can start to generate this advantage spree and basically start to punish your opponent. Honestly, it's a unique take on what you can actually do with this deck. And we've seen some paleo ideas out here. They've definitely been a lot more interesting to see as of late, but the fact that you're able to do this, we're also playing the Tantalizing or Traptalizing Tune in here as well. And I love the free, basically discard one of these terrible normal trap cards, toss it on into the graveyard, and you're good to go. Also, the transaction rollback value that this build is able to get is actually kind of insane. I will give this deck some credit. All right, the turbo power is so good. Let's just take a look at a standard opening hand. Look, we have a Soldier plus set 4. Cool. And then Soldier, during your opponent's turn, you bring out the Laundry Dragon Maid, and mission accomplished. You start milling. All right, that's actually, this card actually might be the best thing ever for this deck. All right. We have some Melodious for you here. Now, the first things I want to tell you about the deep dive through the Melodious deck. I will tell you that in the very early stages of this format, I think this deck is going to be very good. I think a lot of people are going to definitely underestimate what Melodious can do. Now, on that same equation, though, with this stuff being underrated, I think you'll get your free wins. But once people start to figure out, oh, hey, the cutoff points are here, versus other points, I think we'll see some interesting stuff. Now, See, we are playing a Barrier Statue of the Light for post-side decking, so you're able to bring this on in as an aggressive card need be. And I do see we're playing the Condemned Witch in here just so, I mean, what are we doing with this? Just so we contribute as well to summon a level 4 Light Fairy monster from the deck? Well, I mean, that would technically toggle us on into, you know, possibly the Refrain if we need be here. Yeah, it should be toggling us into the Refrain, or technically an Aria as well. So I guess the little things that you can do here. Also, we're only doing 2 copies of Concerto. I kind of agree with this. As much as I think Concert is a good card, bulking down on 3 of it is just a little bit rough. You do value the polymerization just a little bit more in here. Being able to actually roll out the poly to punish the opponent is very, very good. And I see we're also playing a Waboku in here as our choice of our little trap card. I guess you can technically toggle on into it as well off of the thrust. Our super poly targets are just Garua. Wow, they didn't even care about playing any of the other stuff. Just straight Garua. Huh. Okay, well, outside of that, I mean, this is another deep dive into the Melodious deck. Remember the little Maestra here being able to toggle things out of the graveyard once per every time it's face up on the field and it gets reset by the flowering? Yeah, this card does pretty good stuff. All right, Tempai Dragon time. So I'm going to tell you right now, I'm already getting sick of looking at all these Tempai Dragon decks because this deck is just so straightforward in terms of what we're seeing in the meta. Like, okay, so like your biggest tech choices here. All right, so you're playing 2 copies of Fedora. Understandable, all right? You want to make sure you have access to possibly something else along the way. You do see the Necro Valley seeing play in here with the set rotation. We've talked about how good Necro Valley is in that mirror match, not allowing those little pesky Tempai Dragons to start moving out of those graveyards. Actually very, very important. You will understand the more that you play this deck how stupid this card can actually be for the deck. Your hand traps, you're pretty much maximizing on everything that you need to here. Ghost Ogre definitely is going to be more of an MVP in this matchup, especially, you know, when you can pop your opponent's field spell, and then they just lost their searchability, which means they're going to have to roll through, you know, whichever one of their extra little Tempai Dragons that they actually had on the side there. And of course, I mean, we're still playing the Lightning Storms and main. No Feather Duster, even in the side deck down here. They opted to not need it. I also see that we are playing the Gravekeeper's Inscription, and we are playing Heat Waves down here in the side deck for the full control aspect. This is also, I guess, where the bad news comes in. You do see that we are doing the Zelantis, yes, the Salamangreat Raging Phoenix line of play. So basically, if you get shut out of this, you just attempt to clear your opponent's board off, Raging Phoenix, OTK them while you go down the Promethean Princess sub line of play. Yeah, it's a little bit unfair that this deck does have, you know, more powers to be able to OTK for zero reason whatsoever, but I guess you got to give it to Konami in the TCG for having Tempais have 2 different lines of play for the OTK. Wow, you love to see it. And last list here is actually my friend's Voiceless Voice deck. He actually got 14th place, or excuse me, first place at our sneak peek over the course of the weekend. And his dumbass forgot to put in the 15th side deck card. I actually just straight played with a 14. He was like, oh, you know, he built the deck so quickly. He's like, oh, I can't wait to play. And then he literally tells me at the end of the event, he's like, oh, sorry, my dumbass forgot to put in the 15th card. I don't know what it would have been, but if you're looking at Voiceless Voice list and things that you can do, okay, you do see the Ghost Ogres here with the value. Delta and the Gammas being the amazing little options that these cards are. You do see the Nibs and the rest of the gang here doing their job. And then the double Skull Guardian, and actually playing the Odd-Eyes Pendulum Graph along with the 2 Saravis in here. You will see people that will make an argument to play, you know, 1, 1, 2, but I think especially with how this format's expected to develop here, you do see that we have some hope. We have the variety of options more available to you, and that's a good thing. All right, variety will always tend to be a very good thing, and that's a win, honestly. So a lot of very interesting ideas with the meta, but you've got a lot of meta as well. I know that really was just a terrible pun. I'm so sorry about that. But that's honestly, that's what we're looking at right now. It's going to be an interesting format to see what people will be able to cook up, but I'm looking forward to the results. It's definitely it's Yu-Gi-Oh time. So please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.